Our tale commences in an undisclosed location. Mages clad in crimson robes engage in an incantation, their satisfaction apparent. In the ominous backdrop, gruesome creatures lurk. Amidst them, at the center of the structure, a rosy crystal reacts to the mage's spell. A multitude of monsters encircle the mages, drawn by the impending occurrence. In that moment, a swift sword swing severs the heads of some monsters. A man slashes at the creatures in the background. Observing the disturbance, the mages wear a frightened expression. Enter Ray Chong, also known as Sword Lord, leading a band of warriors. He declares his intent to forge a path toward the crystal. Shopkeeper Gorg Bilm enters the scene with his skeletal army. Lastly, we meet Saintess Maria J, who urgently instructs all troops to halt the descent ritual, emphasizing the imminent jeopardy. Simultaneously, the crystal begins to move. Someone notes that it's too late. Notifications indicate a change in the tower's tier, escalating from 12 to 12 hard. In this moment, a man plummets from the sky, repelling all troops. With the new raid goal established for the tower, troops, upon comprehending the grim reality, wear fearful expressions. Information surfaces about the arrival of the 5th season boss, identified as the Lord of Pestilence, Green Man. This masked figure, armed with 2 daggers, emanates a formidable aura. Before the onslaught begins, Saintess Maria J issues a warning. The crystal's transformation leaves the troops in awe. As the chaos unfolds, the Green Man, seemingly unperturbed, effortlessly slices through the remaining troops. The new raid objective is to overcome the Lord of Pestilence. Despite the Green Man's apparent stillness, the troops fall one by one. With the troops now fallen, only Saintess perseveres, wielding a shield for a selected group, attempting to repel the Lord of Pestilence's tentacles. Amidst this chaos, the Lord comprehends the peril and initiates a desperate retreat toward the exit, leaving his soldiers in the forefront. They scream, bewildered as to why he abandons them. The Green Man, pointing out the Lord's apparent foolishness, prepares to strike with a raised hand. As the Green Man swings, Sword Lord questions his destination. The swing, slicing through troops, is halted by a lone figure in black armor. Positioned before the troops, the soldiers recognize him as the Hero King, expressing relief and acknowledging their salvation. The Hero King rushes toward the Green Man, who responds with swings, only to be effortlessly sliced through by the Hero King. Realizing the challenge, the Green Man becomes serious. In a pivotal moment, the Green Man charges at the Hero King, and they clash midair. The collision results in a burst of green energy, illuminating the entire building. In this moment, Saintess Maria screams the name of the Hero King, KH Young SSI. After the clash, Green Man engages in a sword duel with the Hero King, surrounded by a vibrant green energy. He berates the Hero King for daring to attack him alone, questioning his foolishness. Green Man predicts a lonely demise in an ocean of pestilence, where humanity's hope, the Hero King, will perish beyond reach. In response, the Hero King expresses gratitude for the cover provided by the Green Man. Keen on concealing the full extent of his powers from prying eyes, a concern that had preoccupied him, the Hero King, with a sly expression, successfully dispels those worries. In that decisive moment, he unleashes a torrent of energy, prompting the Lord of Pestilence to question the inexplicable display. The energy propels the Lord of Pestilence off the earthly ground. Onlookers witness the Hero King standing amidst the building, realizing victory, and jubilant cheers erupt. Amidst the triumph, the Hero King gathers a radiant blue light, symbolizing the spoils of defeating the Lord of Pestilence. Following this, the loot is distributed among the contributors. The top 100 players receive a rare rank skill card ticket, while the top 10 players are rewarded with an artifact gacha ticket of hero rank or above. This collective effort thwarts the impending apocalypse, and the Hero King, acclaimed as the Lord's Slayer, attains legendary equipment and a corresponding title. Overwhelmed, the Hero King descends to the ground, glancing at notifications. With the task accomplished, he closes his eyes, allowing the world to extend its lifespan by another year. The scene transitions to a conference hall, revealing that the Hero King holds the #1 player position across all 4 seasons. As the undisputed champion in every category, the Hero of Heroes, Hero King Kong YS, makes a quick appearance on screen. A shot captures someone, perhaps a child, holding a doll of Hero King, exclaiming his presence. The child, with sparkling eyes, proudly announces to her parents that Hero King is on TV. Meanwhile, on the streets, curious individuals inquire if Hero King has once again saved the world. People purchase Hero King t-shirts, reflecting the widespread admiration. Back in the conference hall, a man steps up to the microphone, urging Hero King to share his thoughts as a representative of all heroes. In this moment, Saintess Maria shakes Hero King's hand, encouraging him to say something positive, even if insincere, and implores him to do so live on broadcast. The top 10 players of the season await Hero King's words. Taking the microphone, Hero King quips, "Hero my ass," and reveals that his actions are solely motivated by financial gain. The revelation leaves everyone frozen, with visible question marks etched on their faces. Maria appears as if her spirit has left her body. Hero King concludes by stating that it was over for him a long time ago. Amid the chaos, panic-stricken individuals run frantically, convinced that the impending apocalypse is upon them. However, within this tumult, a group of individuals emerges to save the city's inhabitants. These saviors, known as the players, confront and defeat various monsters, aiming to protect the people. Their mission is clear: hunt down the monsters and ensure the safety of the populace. Following their heroic acts, the rules of a new world are unveiled. Tower break, a phenomenon where monsters break out of towers, can be prevented if the tower is raided within a specific time frame. Players possessing superhuman abilities, capable of raiding these towers, become the designated heroes of this transformed world. Returning to reality, someone replays Hero King's conference talk on television. His assertion that he ceased being a hero ages ago for financial gains sparks controversy. Hero King shamelessly promotes his merchandise, suggesting that people should buy his shirts and posters. Meanwhile, he lounges in his chair, watching a replay of himself. Scrolling through the top comments on the video, Hero King questions whether these represent the standard of the player forum. This player community, a natural outgrowth of the world turning into a game, serves as a hub where raid information is shared, and players can trade items. In the comment section, someone decides against buying a Hero King shirt. Hero King retorts, questioning the individual's financial capability to purchase a shirt. When asked if he is Hero King, he expresses surprise at how the person identified him. The remaining comments either praise Hero King or request to join him in the next season. Hero King gazes through his balcony windows, observing a throng of reporters stationed outside his house. Unable to tolerate the intrusion any longer, he steps out, only to be engulfed by a swarm of questions from reporters. They inquire about the global boycott of his merchandise, and press him on whether he truly meant that his hero days were over. Instead of providing straightforward answers, Hero King deflects the questions, challenging the reporters by questioning the capabilities of inebriated celebrities causing problems on TV. A smirk graces his face as he boldly declares his intent to repay with quality entertainment. As the reporters persist with their queries, the ground starts to shake, signaling the commencement of Season 6, titled Endless Labyrinth. Simultaneously, the tower's structure begins to take shape, unfolding in the sky. The system notifies players that they can now enter, providing information at the bottom of the tower gate. A warning follows, cautioning about the impending dungeon break and the potential threat to Earth. Hero King, donning his hoodie, swiftly departs, leaving behind Hero King flyers scattered on the ground. Onlookers speculate if he distributed them before making a hasty exit. Arriving at his destination according to the hero map, Hero King is notably absent. This absence is expected on the first day of the season. Multiple monarchs, likely otherworldly beings, observe Hero King, amused by his actions, and bestow blessings upon him with laughter echoing in the background. Upon hearing the laughter of the Transcendent monarchs, Hero King dismissively urges them to continue laughing, asserting that the day at the conference and his actions were not in vain. He emphasizes that he aimed to obtain rewards from the monarchs who call themselves Transcendent. During the conference, one of the monarchs had laughed so hard that, in gratitude for the entertainment, they bestowed a blessing upon Hero King, guaranteeing a legendary grade reward. With confidence, Hero King instructs the system to unveil all rewards at once. As the rewards unfold, the monarch's blessing exerts a potent influence on the player Gacha. Hero King's eyes sparkle with anticipation as he fervently prays for a legendary drop. His wishes are granted, receiving a legendary coat with no defense but high evasion, a legendary item boasting a heroic grade skill, and a heroic grade artifact. Equipped with this newfound gear, Hero King confidently enters the tower. The Golden Legend Monarch, who had granted Hero King the blessing, retracts it and bestows a blessing upon his shared business. As Hero King ventures into the tower, he finds himself inside a medieval castle. In a sudden turn of events, an orc stomps the ground and charges towards him. The raid goal is revealed: to defeat the Blood Moon Singer on the highest floor. Amidst this setting, Hero King contemplates testing out his newly acquired heroic grade skill from the cloak. Frost Sword Creation is introduced, a skill that crafts a frost sword, with a minor difference for users capable of employing ice magic. As Hero King's compatibility with ice magic increases, he gains the ability of ice breathing. Rushing towards the orcs, he expresses gratitude to the Frost Monarch, casually slicing through goblins. The orcs, attempting to defend, find themselves too late to thwart Hero King's prowess. As the Frost Swing takes effect, freezing every orc in place, Hero King confidently strides past them. The once menacing creatures now stand immobilized, mere obstacles in his path. Accompanying his progress are a cascade of level-up notifications, signaling his increasing prowess. Finally, with a resolute declaration, Hero King announces the successful clearing of the first floor. Surrounded by the echoes of victory, Hero King contemplates his position, recognizing that he is off to a promising start. The question lingers in his mind: should he embark on the journey to save the world once again? Hero King strides onto the second floor, Frost Sword still intact, wearing a somewhat distressed expression. From an elevated vantage point, he observes a group of orcs near a bonfire, joyously celebrating. The orcs, sensing they are being watched, abruptly shift their attention upon spotting Hero King. Recognizing him as a warrior, they eagerly anticipate his arrival, viewing him as the one who will lead them to Valhalla. Enthusiastic about the prospect of an honorable battle and a noble death, Hero King, equally excited, instructs them to wait, promising to show them what heaven looks like. With a leap, he lands atop the orcs. The scene shifts to a shot of stairs in motion, signifying Hero King's ascent to the fourth floor. He acknowledges the benefits of leveling up but expresses the difficulty of doing so without a break floor. His attention is then drawn to a message indicating that war song guards are blocking the path to the chief's room. Observing the orcs adorned with armor, Hero King appreciates how it signifies their elite status. A notification prompts him to fight with honor and die in front of him. Another message reveals that the Steel King Monarch blessed the war song guards, further exciting the orcs. Eager for the battle, the orcs scream about waiting for Valhalla and rush forward in search of the warrior who will guide them to their awaited destiny. As the orcs rush toward Hero King, they begin singing the Song of Blood and Steel, dedicated to the Steel King. A bit fatigued, Hero King raises his sword, complaining that they won't even let him catch his breath. Anticipating that a single swing would freeze the orcs, as it had done before, he is surprised when the front blast has no effect. The orcs press on, attacking Hero King. Swiftly parrying their blows, He maneuvers to the rear of one orc, slashing at the armor but causing no damage. Recognizing their elite status, Hero King concludes that they possess a resistance to cold chi. With this revelation, he leaps onto a chandelier, evading the orc's reach. There, he reevaluates his strategy, realizing the need for a sure-shot fatal blow, for which he currently lacks the right skill. Recollecting the memory of receiving a legendary item, he checks his inventory and retrieves the Frozen Hearth, a hero rank artifact. Though uncertain of its function, Hero King smiles, contemplating whether he can handle using it. A warning flashes, cautioning that those inexperienced in cold magic might turn into ice statues. Undeterred, the orcs taunt and scream at Hero King to come down, asserting that a warrior like him won't find his way to Valhalla with such cowardice. Sensing an axe flying toward him, Hero King decides it's not the time to hesitate. Standing on the chandelier, he embeds the artifact, feeling his cold chi intensify. In that crucial moment, Hero King gains a glacier synergy as he jumps down from the chandelier to face the orcs. The embedding of the artifact strengthens his cold chi skill cards, and Hero King marvels at the newfound power, rhetorically asking who needs a golden spoon when there's a gold mine of items. Embedding cold chi into his frost sword, Hero King is about to be attacked by an orc. The orc, screaming that it will work again, finds his attack blocked by an icy shield. Hero King reveals his ability to transform part of his legendary item into icy armor, using it to deflect attacks. Swiftly, he pierces the orc, leveling up in the process. The remaining orcs swarm him as he enlarges his sword to block and uses his frost arm to parry attacks from the rear. Gripping the sword with his hand, Hero King freezes the orcs, preparing to deal a fatal blow. With a powerful strike, Hero King defeats the orcs, leveling up once again. Still facing a few remaining orcs, he parries their attacks and manifests 2 daggers instead of a single sword. One orc notices, but it's too late. Embarking on a killing spree, Hero King dispatches the orcs left and right, leveling up with each victory. His final move involves a flurry of cobweb slices, leaving Hero King satisfied that he's done with this floor. However, he soon realizes his estimates were off. Summoning an ice spike ball, Hero King declares it his final strike, ready to face whatever challenges the next part of the tower holds. Having successfully cleared the elite floor, Hero King levels up, greeted by a notification announcing a special reward, a random skill card pack and a bunch of achievement points. Eager to see what the pack contains, he quickly unlocks it. A blue card emerges, revealing a normal skill, Stab. Although Hero King had hoped for a legendary skill, he acknowledges that it's better than nothing. One of his blessings enhances the skill's effect. Standing before a gate leading to a palace, Hero King is greeted by a girl who cheekily questions if he's not dead yet. Unashamedly declaring his survival, the girl reassures him that it's not shameful, as he can only buy items from her when alive, making it more efficient. Identified as shopkeeper Autumn, she reveals that the tower was created by Machine Gear King. Noticing Hero King's accumulated achievement points, shopkeeper Autumn advises him to use them wisely before venturing to meet his fate. In the item list, shopkeeper Autumn tries to sell Hero King on a card pack, promising a legendary card. Unimpressed, Hero King opts to purchase a speed potion and a fire potion, totaling 300 achievement points. As he prepares to leave, shopkeeper Autumn persistently suggests just one card pack, but Hero King pretends not to hear by covering his ears. Entering the boss floor, the boss questions if it's time for war and charges forward, urging Hero King to fight with honor and die. Hero King erects a barrier to defend, but it shatters within seconds. Surprised at the boss's immense size, Hero King throws a fire potion, engulfing him in flames. The boss, breaking free from the flames, rushes toward Hero King, who quickly evades. Seizing the opportunity, Hero King appears behind the boss, dealing a fatal blow that pierces through his chest. Reflecting on the potency of a normal rank skill with the blessing, Hero King is taken aback when the boss rises to his feet, activating a unique berserk skill. Acknowledging that the game is not fun if it's too easy, Hero King prepares for the continued challenge. After dealing the fatal blow to the boss, Hero King finds himself standing in front of him, mulling over the situation. The boss, with a hole in his chest, activates his unique skill, Berserk. To shield himself from the shock waves emitted by the boss, Hero King erects an ice barrier, all the while laughing at the fierce impact. Hero King wagers that an actual strike to the face would likely prove fatal. Undeterred, the boss charges toward Hero King. Confident in his ability to evade, Hero King challenges the boss, stating that he can only be killed with a strike if the boss manages to land it. Taking a sip from the speed potion obtained from shopkeeper Autumn, Hero King prepares for the impending attack. The boss swings down with both weapons, shattering the ice barrier. Hero King deftly dodges the attack, enveloped in green energy, and begins counting down from 180 seconds. Effortlessly evading the boss's strikes while keeping track of the potion's remaining duration, Hero King reaches the 60-second mark. He drops an empty bottle after finishing the speed potion, counting down the final 3 seconds as the boss remains airborne. With the boss midair, Hero King turns his back, declaring that time's up. As the green energy dissipates, the boss unexpectedly drops dead to the ground, his berserk skill having ended. A notification appears, congratulating Hero King on clearing the boss floor and conquering the Blood Red Moon Orc clan's tower. He receives a property skill card pack as a reward for clearing the tower and a special achievement. First Conqueror. Hero King gazes at the property skill card pack, sensing that the reward might be too good to be true. Hero King opens the ice property pack, expecting a significant reward. However, he is disappointed to find a normal card, Ice Bolt. Making a disgusted face, he blames the game for its seemingly petty tricks. Undeterred, he moves forward into the Tier 3 Imp Demon Worshipper's Tower. Upon entering, Hero King is swarmed by multiple imps screaming to kill the disgusting pagan. The imps jump on him, prompting Hero King to use his newly acquired skill, Ice Bolt. Casting multiple projectiles at a time, he pierces the imps, standing in place and continuously calling forth Ice Bolt to eliminate them. Hero King expresses his enjoyment of leveling up his skills, especially Ice Bolt, which condenses the coldness of the atmosphere into a projectile. Glacial Synergy improves the skill's damage and the number of projectiles, enhancing its effectiveness. After dispatching the imps, the level of Ice Bolt increases, and a notification informs him that the second wave is about to begin. A horde of imps in the background, ready with machetes, moves forward, asking the Demon King to send them back to hell. Hero King sighs and tells them to wait their turn, promising to provide their tickets to hell. He jumps back, freezing the imps in place with his ice breathing and finishing them off with Ice Bolt. Multiple notifications follow, indicating that he has leveled up himself and several other skills. Suddenly, Hero King hears someone calling him a disgusting heathen. It's the tower's boss, Imp Cult, promising to offer his blood to the Demon King. Commanding his followers to kill Hero King, they rush in, only to be met with a barrage of Ice Bolt and slashes from Hero King's ice sword. The attacks inflict a freeze status on the Imp Cult boss, who is pleased to have the opportunity to test something out in this place. Approaching the frozen Imp Cult boss, Hero King activates the Glacial Synergy buff, holding his sword in front of him. With a sense of curiosity, he begins creating frost spears, wondering about the number he can produce at his current level. Many spears emerge from the ground, and he selects one, raising it in a dancing motion. Spinning and twirling with the spear, he finally throws it, breaking the ice around the Imp Cult boss and piercing him. Following up with the rest of the spears, the final one finishes off the boss, clearing the Imp Demon Worshipper's Tower. As a reward, he receives a random gear draw ticket. Instantly opening the gear tickets, Hero King obtains a rare silver plate mail. He deems it useless as he already possesses a legendary item for that slot. Reflecting on the frost sword, he notes that it didn't weaken even when divided into several pieces, and he didn't feel a difference until there were 8 of them. Suddenly, a notification prompts him to face his shadow, indicating that one of the tower's factions has shown great interest in his activities. While Hero King is aware of what's happening, he's surprised that it's occurring so soon. The system labels this as a special event, an encounter with a faction. The tower's world is filled with various factions, including those under the rule of the king. They wish for Hero King to join hands with them to expand their power. Players can align with a certain faction, and completing the faction's quests will earn them better rewards. The system introduces the Shadow Council faction, revealing that they keep many secrets hidden behind their veil. Joining this faction would offer Hero King access to their mysterious powers and darkness, ensuring his existence remains protected under the veil. The system poses the question, asking if Hero King will join the Shadow Council faction. A group of hooded figures surrounds Hero King, expressing their recognition of him and questioning if he will face the shadows again and join their whispers. Hero King takes a moment to reflect, recalling that he had previously joined the Shadow Council in the past. However, he informs them that there are multiple factions out there, and he cannot commit immediately. One of the hooded figures reminds him that their veils shall cover him, emphasizing their power. Hero King acknowledges their strength but asserts that he hasn't forgotten. The figures inquire about what Hero King truly desires. Smirking, he cheekily states that he wants a shadow beast and requests a rare darkness skill card as well. The figures are disappointed by his response, cautioning him not to overestimate his worth as a mortal. Before they can continue, Hero King interrupts, expressing his discontent and declaring that it's enough. He requests not to meet them again and asks for peace. As he starts to leave, one of the figures tells him to wait. In response, Hero King smiles, summoning a shadow beast that jumps straight to him and hides in his shadows. A notification informs him that he completed the special achievement, earning 100,000 achievement points. Hero King pets the shadow beast, calling it a good boy, and obtains a rare skill card, Shadow Blade. The figures inquire if he is satisfied, and Hero King confirms his satisfaction, stating that he will join the Shadow Council. The system confirms the decision and notes an improvement in his affinity with the faction. Exiting the tower, Hero King reflects on the positive turn of events in the season. Contemplating whether to continue while things are going well or stop to maintain his condition, he is interrupted by men in suits approaching him, calling out his name, Kong Yusong. Recognizing the hassle ahead, he lets out a sigh. Back on Earth after returning from the tower, Hero King finds himself surrounded by a swarm of reporters armed with cameras and microphones. Bright flashes from the cameras cast bags under his eyes as he addresses them, asserting that his capability is the reason for his achievements, and questioning if it isn't incredible. A reporter informs Hero King that the Sword Lord of China has attacked a Tier 4 tower, adding an interesting twist to the season's raid race. Hero King, slightly intrigued, queries about the number of people accompanying the Sword Lord. Reporters disclose that 5 veterans of the Communist China Guild joined him, but unfortunately, 4 players lost their lives during the raid. Hero King sarcastically acknowledges the Sword Lord's unique skill of using others as meat shields, dubbing him a Shield Master instead of a Sword Master. When asked if the Sword Lord expected these sacrifices, Hero King interrupts the reporter. Suddenly, another reporter reveals that the Sword Lord has entered a Tier 5 tower, and Hero King queries how many companions he brought along. Surprisingly, the Sword Lord embarked on this venture alone. Hero King praises the Sword Lord for his energetic approach on the first day but reflects that participating in the race at the season's beginning might not hold much significance. In the midst of the reporters, Hero King contemplates the situation. He knows that Saintness is busy gathering skills and items, and the Gravekeeper currently has no plans to participate in the game. Speculating on Sword Lord's success in the Tier 4 tower, Hero King assumes he must have obtained a valuable item. Reporters bombard Hero King with questions about his thoughts on Sword Lord's actions, thrusting their microphones toward him. In response, Hero King nonchalantly deems Sword Lord a dumbass while casually playing with his ear. The reporters are taken aback by this unexpected answer. When asked if he won't compete against Sword Lord, Hero King confirms this, asserting that he is also a dumbass. He humorously remarks that being a winning dumbass is better than the alternative, laughing off their reactions. Despite a cautionary note about his choice of words, Hero King challenges anyone willing to take him to a Tier 5 tower. Stepping into a golden circle, Hero King enters a Tier 5 war tower, which follows a battlefield format with a historic offensive and defensive fortress battle. The system reveals a special condition: players cannot be on the same side. Additionally, there is already another player inside the tower with the raid goal of achieving victory for their side. Hero King realizes that the other participant is none other than Sword Lord, signaling the beginning of a real and intense competition. Upon entering the Tower of War, a brief narrative unfolds, setting the stage for an epic conflict between the nefarious Cabal Empire and the beleaguered Lodia Kingdom. The system prompts Hero King with 2 cards, urging him to align with the cause he deems just. The Cabal Empire card has already been claimed, leaving him with the option to choose the Lodia Kingdom. Undeterred, Hero King selects the underdog faction, anticipating greater rewards. Upon confirming his choice, he finds himself teleported to a round table surrounded by knights. Their jubilant reactions reveal their desperation for a savior. Overjoyed at the prospect of divine intervention, they embrace one another, tears of joy streaming down their faces. Hero King, discerning the gravity of the situation, inquires if this is the strategy meeting room, given the knight's armor-clad attire. He politely seeks permission to join and identifies the highest-ranking individual among them. However, an authoritative figure enters, dubbing Hero King an audacious intruder. A diminutive figure clad in gleaming armor asserts his authority as the defense commander of the palace fortress. He boasts about his lineage and insists on adherence to court customs, emphasizing the importance of protocol in his presence, regardless of Hero King's visitor status. Undeterred by the commander's grandiosity, Hero King calmly questions whether the objective is victory in battle. The commander, eager to showcase the indomitable mental strength of the Lodia Kingdom despite military inferiority, extols the prowess of their young men. This self-praise irritates Hero King, prompting him to deliver a swift punch to the commander's stomach, decisively toppling him. Taking charge, Hero King declares himself the new commander, instructing the men to convene for a meeting. He delves into practical matters, seeking information about their troop strength, class composition, and the Empire's forces. The city's defense relies on 5,000 conscripted peasants, with 900 proficient in archery. Despite the overwhelming military disadvantage against the Empire, the absence of magic in their world offers a glimmer of hope. Hero King notes a unique advantage. Unlike other players limited to a contract with a single monarch, he, as the disciple of the clown monarch, can receive rewards from multiple monarchs. This sets him apart, allowing him to gather favors from various sources. In contrast, other players typically align themselves with a singular monarch, limiting their rewards to that specific source. The monarchs wholeheartedly support their disciples, but certain restrictions apply. In the case of the Sword Lord, his primary skills have no direct connection to the Steel Monarch. Armed with this knowledge, Hero King assesses that the upcoming battle is manageable. However, he acknowledges the immense pressure weighing on the soldiers, recognizing that their emotional strain may differ from his own. Contemplating the nature of the tower's inhabitants, Hero King wonders whether these individuals are genuine, living beings or mere artificial entities confined to the tower's realm. Despite the intriguing question, he acknowledges its irrelevance in the current context. The paramount concern is bolstering the soldiers' morale, and Hero King ponders effective strategies to uplift their spirits. As crows leave feathers in their wake while departing, a knight waves a flag, heralding the arrival of a visitor to their kingdom. The soldiers, elated by the news, erupt in cheers and raise their weapons in readiness for battle. The knight reveals that the patriarch is no longer the defense commander, as the player, Hero King, will be issuing orders directly. The soldiers rejoice, relieved to be under the command of a player and viewing it as a sign of divine intervention. In the midst of the jubilation, a knight informs Hero King that the Empire has initiated its attack. On the walls, knights wield bows in defense as the Empire positions ladders against the fortifications. A skirmish erupts as the Imperial forces climb the ladders. Capitalizing on intelligence about Imperial troops near the fortress gates, a soldier advises Hero King to target them, believing it would significantly impact the enemy's morale. Hero King contemplates the name, Shadow Beast, but opts for a shorter moniker, Darky. Commanding Darky to reveal his skills, a massive shadow cat emerges from Hero King's shadow. This sudden appearance confuses the Empire's troops atop the wall. Rather than dwelling on the phenomenon, a soldier dismisses it as nonsense, urging others to maintain their formation. As the soldiers brush off the unusual occurrence, a realization sets in. A surge of shadow energy envelopes everyone, and a shadow beast materializes, impaling the surrounding enemies with spikes extending from its back. Men in front of the kingdom gates are screaming for others to run as there is a monster killing them, with Hero King standing on top of the wall. A man with a frightened look on his face tells others to give up on this fortress wall and move to another. That's when all of them get frozen in place. Hero King acknowledges that he must have been hungry after freezing all of the soldiers. He tells Darky to eat up, and Darky eats up and shatters the ice with his teeth. All of the men fighting notice something changing on the battlefield. Hero King enters the battlefield, swinging his sword and killing the Empire's troops. Shockingly, realizing that there's no trace of the Sword Lord here, a player showing off is a double-edged sword. Although the morale of your allies increases, at the same time, you leak your location to the other player. After killing the Empire's troops, one of the Loya Kingdom Knights screams to the rest of the men that the player is with their kingdom. However, players are not fighting with their life on the line, as with any game, according to the rules. If a player defeats another player, the loser gets kicked out of the tower and fails at the raid. Players cannot kill each other inside the towers. However, the cruel reality is that towers can kill players. He knows he is not going to die on this tower, but that doesn't mean he is okay with losing. If the Sword Lord's plan was to wait for him to reveal his location, then he too has a plan on his hands, cleaning up the battlefield. After a while, everyone from the Empire is dead on the ground. Hero King impatiently asks out loud what is he doing, telling him that it's about time to reveal himself, asking if he has to kill them all for him to come forward. Suddenly, swords start moving from the corpses. Men in the world where magic doesn't exist are surprised by the swords moving on their own. As the swords are headed at Hero King, he realizes Sword Lord's location. He knows that it's sword manipulation but questions when did he get a hero skill card, asking him if his luck is that good or did the Steel Monarch bestow it on him himself. With the swords following him, Hero King jumps up, dodging some of them while creating ice shields to block others. He praises Sword Lord for preparing a lot for his entrance, smiles, and tells him that he wasn't playing around either. A shadow energy comes from the ground, blocking the incoming blades and breaking them in half, telling him that he is late as his level up work has ended. Shadow Blade is a rare rank skill with properties of darkness and assassination, the ability to create a shadow blade from the player's shadow. The remaining men of the Empire notice that there's a player on their side, which raises their morale. Hero King looks behind his shoulder, asking himself if the Empire men are after him. He notices that the flow of the battle has changed as the troops clash swords. Raising his sword, he asks if he thought he could get rid of him with just a single skill. He creates a huge ice blast, blowing all of the blades aimed at him away, claiming that the exquisiteness of the sword manipulation is inversely proportional to the number of the swords. He blasts all of the swords away, telling him that this won't work on him. Suddenly, there is a light behind him. He turns around looking terrified but smiles as the sword is about to hit him, and a golden shield comes up, blocking the last sword. The system notification reveals that Sarif's shield has reflected the enemy's attack, blasting Sword Lord away. As the shield breaks, the system notifies him that Sarif's shield has been used and is on a 168-hour cooldown. Hero King asks him if he really didn't think about using the sword manipulation to take over the fortress. They both stand against each other. Sword Lord asks him what he thinks is needed to achieve victory in this tower, telling him that even if this fortress is destroyed and all the kingdom's troops are dead, if he doesn't defeat him, the Empire won't win. Hero King asks him if he knew that. Why would he choose that side to defeat him? Sword Lord says yes, and that the player is a hero, and the calling of a hero is to protect the world. Raising his sword and screaming at him that a man who can't even understand that has no right to be the Hero King. Hero King, annoyed by his screams, tells him that he can hear him, saying that the thing is the world one has to protect must not include only your country's guild members, leaving Sword Lord speechless but snapping his nerves. He screams that he won't let him die prettily and dashes toward Hero King, creating a shield in front of himself, blocking the attack. Hero King tells him to mind his own business, as he would like to live a long life. Sword Lord shatters the shield, looking up after Hero King jumps into the air. There, he casts a bunch of ice bolts at him. Sword Lord, annoyed by these cheap tricks, parries the ice bolts with his sword while Darky sneaks up on him from the shadows. He manages to notice Darky in time, and as Darky is about to attack, Sword Lord jumps back, landing on top of his sword, levitating in the air. He tells Hero King that the monarchs are watching this fight, and there's no way he doesn't know the weight of the loss here. Hero King just laughs, asking him why he thinks he is fighting. Firmly grabbing his ice sword, he jumps at Sword Lord. Sword Lord moves back, calling it a cheap trick, stating that Hero King would use his tongue to target his weak spot and mentality. However, Sword Lord realizes his mistake as Hero King jumps down to the battlefield instead of up towards Sword Lord. He questions what Hero King is trying to do. Dashing forward on the battlefield, Sword Lord realizes that the reason Hero King played an active part in the battle from the beginning wasn't to show off how dangerous he is or to encourage the defending soldiers. Instead, it was just to kill all of the Empire's troops. Hero King rushes forward on the battlefield with the troops screaming for help. Sword Lord knows that he is in trouble and screams at him to stop right there, trying to follow after him, while Hero King just smiles. At the Imperial Army commanding barracks, troops discuss how they are supposed to block a monster like that. A man interrupts them, screaming for them to run away. Duke Barriot yells at the rest, asking them what their troops on site are doing. One of the men tells him to please calm down. That's when someone enters the tent, and all the men turn their heads. It's Hero King, telling them that he has found him. He raises his sword, revealing that there isn't just one way to beat this game. Hero King dashes forward towards the knights, who are scared after realizing he's a player. They wonder if the God of Truth abandoned them. With soldiers scrambling around trying to protect His Excellency, Hero King swings his sword, sending sword slashes their way and cutting off their heads. After a moment, time stops, and only players can move. Sword Lord approaches Hero King from behind, calling him a bastard. Hero King gives him advice, mentioning that he should have taken off the clothes of an officer and hid among the soldiers. He asks if Sword Lord didn't know that all he had to do was wait for the advance of the Empire. Getting on Sword Lord's nerves, Hero King runs at him ready to attack while calling him a Korean bastard. As the sword is about to reach him, a notification comes up, stating that he has cleared the palace battle. The system reveals the outcome of the continental power during the battle that surrounded the palace fortress. Duke Armit and the entire commanding barracks of the Cabal's empire were annihilated by unidentified assassins. The Imperial Army, who lost their leader, decided to stop their plan and retreat. In the moment when the sword was about to reach Hero King, it starts disappearing. Both of them receive notifications. Hero King succeeds in conquering the Tower of War, while Sword Lord sees a red screen indicating his failure. Hero King gets to choose one of the skill cards of the enemy player as a reward. There are 3 cards, with 2 being rare rank and 1 heroic. As Hero King taunts Sword Lord, the latter calls him a bastard and swears to kill him. Hero King, however, decides not to pick the sword manipulation skill as it would be rude after all Sword Lord said. Instead, he chooses a heroic rank skill called Metal Synergy, which strengthens the effects of metal attribute skill cards. Sword Lord, still behind some kind of wall, screams at Hero King not to think that this is the end. Hero King smiles and uses one of his skills to disappear. The narrative then shifts to a dream of the past, in Season 2, titled King of Heroes. A clown mask is dropped on the ground in front of Hero King, a familiar scene where someone calls him a child of 1,000 faces and 1,000 skills, asking if he would like to become a hero. In the dream, Hero King kneels and picks up the mask from the ground, making the same choice he always makes. The scene shifts to a dream where the clown Monarch stands in front of Hero King, asking if he will become the hero of all heroes. However, the offer comes with the caveat that if he accepts, he will be mocked, laughed at, and never understood by others. Kong Yusang, Hero King, puts the clown mask on his face, making a player contract with the clown Monarch. Hero King opens his eyes and wakes up from the dream. His phone rings with 4 missed calls. Suddenly, someone starts knocking on the door and screaming at him to open it. Young wonders why someone as humble as himself is being bothered so early in the morning. He opens the door to find Park Tesk, also known as Master Park, standing there. Master Park, having made a contract with the assassin Monarch, is now known as the Killing Sword, and is ranked among the top 30 players. He is also the head of Blue House's National Intelligence Department. Hero King asks him if he looks tired and mentions the first day of the season. Master Park, however, is focused on the global chaos as war fanatics initiate the destruction sonata for players worldwide. Hero King reflects on his efforts for world peace, acknowledging the challenges. Tashik questions why Hero King hasn't been answering his calls, and Hero King casually mentions he was sleeping. Tashik, now more confused, comments on the brightness of the sun. As they move inside the apartment, Tashik notices the messy living conditions, with unwashed dishes and garbage around. Playfully calling Hero King a rascal, and teasing him about his lifestyle, Tashik mentions the Hero King t-shirts. Embarrassed, Hero King asks Tashik not to call him a rascal. Tashik, judging Hero King's living situation, humorously suggests he looks like a child of darkness. He questions Hero King's choice of neighborhood Chinese food and suggests ordering 2 large bowls of beef brisket jangmyeon with some liquor. A flashback delves into Hero King's past relationship with Tashik, going back to when they first met before the world became a game. It shows a young Kong Yusang, Hero King, impressing gamers over voice chat after winning a fight in a game. Tashik, the gaming cafe owner, recognizes his talent and encourages him to go pro. Returning to the present, Tashik continues to joke about Hero King's lifestyle, referencing their shared history. The scene captures the camaraderie and shared experiences between the 2 characters. Catching Young off guard, Hero King reflects on the past when he played games for fun. Tashik, the old man, convinced Hero King's parents to support him, polishing his gaming skills even after the cafe closed. On the day of Hero King's official pro debut at the age of 18, Season 1, titled The End of Peace, began with the first tower break. Monsters left the tower, invading Earth. Covered in blood, Young rushes to the balcony as a monster approaches. Suddenly, Tashik lands on the railing, jumping to protect Young and stabbing the monster with his daggers. Young, terrified, runs back to the apartment, discovering his parents dead on the ground, crying in grief. On that fateful day, he lost his parents and found his hero, Tashik, who saved his life. Returning to the present, Young asks Tashik what brings him there today. Tashik, after a brief silence, reveals that he came because of the association, leaving Young surprised. The narrative weaves past and present, highlighting the significant impact Tashik had on Young's life, and the challenges they faced during the tower break. Young questions what the association wants from him, wondering if they want to use him again. The Korean Player Association, the only guild in the nation, is an all-powerful organization that manages players. Tesk asks if he knows about the Player Academy Association built last season. Connecting the dots, Young realizes it's regarding the slave factory, and Tesk confirms that they're holding their first graduation exam in a week, wanting Young to attend. Young contemplates, but eventually decides to attend. Tesk, surprised, mentions that he was just informing him, and he doesn't need to care about trivial stuff like that. However, Young changes the game by telling Tesk that he will attend. Tesk, puzzled, replies to the association that Hero King will be there. Young suggests it would be good to observe the new players who will carry the burden of the nation's future. Tesk, curious, asks if there are any conditions Young has. Young smirks and instructs Tesk to change the graduation exam date to tomorrow at 5 a.m. The next day, 5 minutes before the exam, players are seen fighting. One player spots the Hero King standing outside. The narrative builds anticipation for what awaits Hero King in the upcoming Player Academy Association graduation exam. Hearing rumors that Hero King is just judging them, wondering if they need to win to pass, another player assures them that there's no need to win, as they will all graduate anyway. He asks the players how arrogant Hero King is, requesting them to show up at 5 a.m. Young leans against the wall, observing the players. An elevator door opens next to him, revealing Lee Sanho, the president of the Korean Player Association. Sanho goes straight to the point, asking Hero King for his opinion on the academy students. Hero King interrupts, stating he noticed that the academy players were boosted by someone this season, making them much stronger. The president asks Hero King to judge their prided first generation of students. Hero King equips his legendary robe and enters the battlefield, telling the president that the conditions are as he stated earlier. He starts testing the students' strengths, and the final decision for their graduation is up to him. Hero King walks up to the students, clad in his legendary robe, and announces the start of the graduation exam. The president, watching nervously, believes his plan is perfect, thinking that, relative to the timeline, the students are skilled, and Hero King won't be able to do as he wishes. However, as the exam progresses, the president becomes increasingly nervous, realizing that Hero King is effortlessly defeating and freezing the students, telling them one by one to leave. Hunting them with flying ice swords, Hero King corners the last girl who is already kneeling and crying, assuming that she failed. However, Hero King surprises her by stating that she passed. Withdrawing his weapons, the girl questions why she's the only one to pass. Hero King explains that she was just lucky, the luckiest of the 12, which is why she was the last one standing. He advises her to keep in mind that luck is everything to a player. Clapping his hands, Hero King asks to turn off the cameras now that it's over. Confused, the girl questions what he's talking about when he congratulates her on her graduation. The president rushes in, asking Young about the meaning of this. Hero King starts telling him that they only asked for a judgment but gets interrupted. Hero King asks the president if he really thought he didn't realize what they were trying to do. He asserts that he knows all the students either have family connections or are related to the association's executive members. He is certain they called him to test their progress and collect data. He questions if the goal is to make rankers who can't stand their ground and give them undeserved spots to use them as hunting dogs. Hero King criticizes them, stating they are all rotten for allowing such practices from the first year in the academy. The president gets furious, calling him an arrogant little and questioning what a selfish individual like him even knows. He challenges Hero King's perception of being a hero just because people call him one. Teaching Hero King a harsh lesson, the president emphasizes that players are nothing more than weapons of the nation. He questions whether Hero King thought the situation was any different for other nations, emphasizing that, in this changed world, everyone is working for the peace of their nation. The president urges Hero King to understand the nation's circumstances and cooperate for the greater good. Young interjects, expressing his disbelief at their narrow-minded focus on war. He realizes that these individuals fail to comprehend the bigger picture, and that understanding will only dawn on them when circumstances take a turn for the worse. As the president is about to respond, a man approaches with urgent news. Looking at a tablet displaying shocking news, the president turns to Hero King, asking if it could be his doing. Hero King satirically laments the news, mocking the imminent closure of the Player Academy just a year after its launch. The headline accuses the academy of being a hub for nepotism and babies. When the president questions the source of the video, Hero King reminds him that the National Intelligence Organization's division head supports him. The forums become flooded with the president's statement about players being mere war weapons. In response, the president turns to Young, cursing him. Hero King smirks and cryptically asks the president if he has ever heard of the term Dark Knight. A system window appears, indicating that the provocation stat has increased exponentially. The clown Monarch, excited by the contractor's actions, donates a gift box to him. Exiting the building, he turns to Tasik, thanking him for the help. However, Tasik questions if it's okay for the National Intelligence Organization to target the association using such methods. The contractor nonchalantly responds that it's fine because the government doesn't like the association either, emphasizing that the government and the association argue all the time. Yusan, pleased that the situation didn't cause any issues, asks Tasik if he could give him a lift to the tower. Tasik agrees and drops him off at the location of the 5th-tier tower known as Pale Desert Tower. The raid's goal is to guard the caravan and safely transport the item, allowing a maximum of 4 players. Concerned, Tasik asks if the contractor isn't overworking himself, but as Hero King is about to enter the tower, he assures Tasik that he's fine. Hero King enters the tower and is transported to a desert oasis camp in the middle of the night, where a group of monsters is mercilessly attacking soldiers in turbans, who desperately scream for the onslaught to stop. As they continue fighting off the monsters, Hero King appears, swooping in to save everyone by swiftly eliminating all the creatures. The timely arrival of players in the tower's realm is likened to that of saviors, creating an aura of legendary feats. Hero King, having successfully cleared the area of monsters, announces his presence to the people of the tower. Interrupting the men who are fighting, Hero King tells them they can call him whatever they want. The grateful men celebrate his arrival, expressing thanks and referring to him as the Priest of Light, believing that the God of Light has shown them mercy. However, when Hero King hears the mention of the God of Light, he senses an ominous undertone. He inquires if there is another threat aside from the monsters. One of the men reassures him that they are in the Divine Kingdom's territory, and there's no need to worry about heathens invading. They are close to their destination, and the journey will take at most 3 days, with plenty of provisions. Despite the reassurance, Hero King covers his face, realizing that he should have rested before embarking on a 3-day trip. The men notice his concerned expression and inquire about his well-being. Just as they speak, another group of monsters rushes toward them. Hero King, maintaining his composure, tells the men not to worry and assures them that as long as he's present, the monsters pose no threat. So what do you guys think about the manhwa? Will Hero King be able to defeat all the monsters? Comment down below. See you in the next episode.